I know.
I was telling you.
It's
there if you need it. And I know you'd only do it if you needed it.
I know. Brenda, you might want to mute.
I'll do it.
Hey, hit mute on your phone. Okay.
How is everyone?
Okay. You might have to unmute.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ian.
Hello. Hi, Ian. Since 5.
All right. Yikes. Sorry.
I unmuted it. Great kid.
Okay, so I think Keith is going to start now, I think. So that's good. We have everybody with us, close enough. So this is a good day. We're going to try not to fill the meeting afterwards with administration. In fact, we're going to point you directly to the memo with information that you can review at your leisure. And of course, we'll be here to answer questions. So I appreciate you all. It's so nice to have the sun out. I keep talking about it all the time, but it means so much to me. I assume it does to you as well. But I can't overstate how nice it is to have it somewhat warm. And I know other people feel the same way. So this is kind of a formal setting, and so we all have kind of a script to follow. I think we still hope to have the Aloha meeting at some point where we can be perhaps less formal. I don't know what that will look like. To have an Aloha meeting with Zoom takes a bit of the interest away, but whatever it takes, we'll do something like that. So I guess I'll start by reviewing the script, and I appreciate how much time, energy, and effort, as always, that it takes to put something like this together. And the students that contributed, and through Bonnie's leadership, producing this final document is kind of a cool thing. We have all been affected by the events of the spring, and it must be particularly challenging for our retirees who will not get the chance to say goodbye and be honored in the way that we would like to, as them like we traditionally do. The Zoom meeting is the best we can do, and we welcome our special guests, Ellen, John, Ann, and Brenda, as well as their families to today's meeting.
People are already there.
This meeting is being recorded, and we will share the link via the weekly. So just remember that as we walk through this. So I'm going to hand it over to Bonnie.
Okay, if everyone else could mute, that would be helpful. Unless you're speaking, a mute would be really helpful. So we have kept the tradition alive of having students speak about our retiring teachers. And it is my pleasure to introduce the first. Ian Ray is here to honor Ellen Bald on behalf of the student body. Ian is a 9th grader who has had a strong start to high school. He frequently shares his time and talents on behalf of the Haven, and some of you might have seen him in a recent edition of the Weekly. Please welcome Ian Ray.
Hi guys. Ellen Bald has been the high school nurse since 2011. I can't even imagine how many sick people she must have seen in that time. definitely more than I would have ever wanted to be in touch with. You mostly see students when we are at our worst, our whiny selves, and awfully not very patient with the situation that's going on. You provide information, reassurance, and comfort that's needed at the time. We don't mean to come across as being rude and impatient. It's just most of the time we'd rather be writing essays than bleeding or feeling sick, which is something that you don't usually get a high school student to say. There are a few kids you see on a regular basis because of needed medications or recovering from a concussion or other maladies. You probably mean the most to them. I myself being one of those kids. You were steady, always present, and a shelter when a student was feeling adrift. Knowing you are a highly trained medical professional was incredibly reassuring and made a difference every day. I'm going to take this time in my speech to talk about myself, not in an egotistical type of way, but to explain what you mean to me, Mrs. Bald. I often find myself in doctor's offices and in the nurse's office a lot. If you don't know me, then you wouldn't know that I've broken my leg 9 times or separated my shoulder on Mr. Carey's and Annikis' skiing team, or that I have so many allergies that you can't physically count them on all your toes or fingers. You wouldn't know that this year I had a hard time trying to figure out why I would pass out in English. Secretly, it was just a bluff so I could get out of essays. Truthfully, though, I had found out that I had some heart defects and other cardiac abnormalities. All the while, though, Miss Bald was there to look after me. The short while that we were in school this year, a trip to Miss Bald's office practically became a scheduled period class in my day. I remember a couple of bad days that were made better by Mrs. Bald. One of those days, I'd come into her office after gym with the classic heartbeat of 212 beats per minute. I'm blacking out. While I waited to get better, we passed time by talking about hanging off of cliffs, and we would talk about her son's adventures and mine with rock climbing. One day I was in her office trying to get her to let me leave when I couldn't even stand up so that I could go rock climbing. I texted my climbing partners to say I would be late, and they showed up in the office to help me get released, but she wouldn't until she knew I was feeling better. Little did she know I couldn't see walking out of her office with no blood in the brain. But I mean, I'm still here. The last day I will talk about is the day I had an allergic reaction and I went to her office. Determined I'd be going to ski practice later that day, I fought her to not give me any medicine that would render me useless. Of course, as I stand or sit here saying these words, you would know she won and I didn't get to go to practice. I feel the need to mention your time as a nurse in the Army. Our country is grateful for your service, and your devotion to our military is admired by all. I understand that you were at Walter Reed Hospital during 9/11, and I'm sure that your diagnostic skills, attention to detail, and overall respect for others was a significant part of helping others. Miss Bald, we will miss you at LHS. We thank you for being here for us, and we wish you well in your retirement. We hope you have many more adventures with your friends and family, and we hope you remember us at LHS fondly. I hope to see you at more of my gigs in town and maybe at the cliffs. But for now, I must say goodbye, and thank you for being my friend, a lifesaver, and as well as the logical person that stopped me from doing illogical things.
Thank you, Ian.
You're welcome.
Our next presenter is here to honor John Carey. We welcome senior Emma Doyle. Emma has been an active member of the Interact Club for 3 years, the past 2 as president. She attended the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards last year and was invited back as a counselor. Emma has participated in multiple ELOs, such as Science Olympiad and the New Hampshire Academy of Science. She has taken a variety of VLAX courses, such as forensic science and military careers, to name a couple. She has run track and fished on the bass fishing team for the past 4 years. And Emma is one of our students of the month for 2019-2020. In the fall, she will be attending the University of New Haven as a forensic science major. Please welcome Emma Doyle.
All right. John Carey also joined the LHS faculty in 2011, and he brought a whole new spirit to not only the wood shop, but also many other classes and aspects of student life. Just like a normal school day, not that we've had one of those in a while, I'll start in the classroom. What used to be wood tech has evolved into woodworking, and the students' projects reflect the artistry and the name change implies. Mr. Carey works with individuals and encourages them to go above and beyond what could be expected from a high school, and some beautiful projects have emerged from the shop at the heart of LHS. Mr. Carey has also taught systems engineering and developed advanced digital electronics. His training as an engineer set him up to be a great teacher to many students interested in science, engineering, and technology. And yet, he has become so much more of a mentor and friend to so many of them. In addition, Mr. Carey has been seen biking and with the outdoor adventures classes and skiing whenever possible. He runs a ski school in Pat's Peak and skis every day he possibly can, including in May this year for those of you who recall the flurry we experienced a few weeks ago. And then there's the bass fishing team. The fall of my freshman year, when the time came for our first bass fishing team meeting, I walked into the physics room terrified. I had been told that no freshmen were allowed on the team, so I had reached out to Mr. Carey to ensure that I was on the roster. When I walked into that room for the first time, surrounded by juniors and seniors, most of whom were male, I felt my confidence as a fisherwoman waver. But Mr. Carey isn't one to allow for shyness. He had me set down my bag and join in the scheduling for the year's tournaments and other outings. I began to feel more at home at LHS. Through 4 years of fishing with the team, Mr. Carey became a mentor to me. He may have mocked me for completing homework on the boat, but he more than made up for it with his advice in school and for life in general. In a sport dominated by men, Mr. Carey supported me and gave me confidence in myself and who I am. For many years, a large portion of the LHS faculty and student body didn't realize that it was a legitimate NHIAA varsity sport. Some of you may be learning that just now. It certainly gives me a fun story to tell. But believe me when I say mine is not the only story. The welcoming, teasing, and friendship I described above matches that of many other students here at the high school. You have certainly left your mark here. And also, it is not a surprise what Mr. Carey will be doing in his retirement. He'll be fishing and skiing. He will have on that characteristic grin of his as he ventures out for adventure after adventure. It sounds like a pretty good life, Mr. Carey, and we wish we could all go with you. Thank you for all you've given to LHS. Your hard work, inspiration, and memories we will always hold on to. Happy skiing, and may the fish always bite.
Our next student presenter is senior Greg Farner. Greg is also a recent student of the month and is known for his work ethic and determination. He has been a member of both the concert band and jazz band for 4 years. He has also volunteered in various places in the community through Youth in Action. Greg is currently taking 2 AP Science classes and is highly respected by his peers. Please welcome Greg. Greg? Mr. Smith, would you like to read Greg's speech?
Yeah, are we sure he's absent?
I'm going to call him.
I'm happy to do it. I speak about Ann a little bit later, but I'm happy to do it twice. But maybe we should give him a quick ring.
Keith said that he would like us to go ahead to the next one and come back to this one.
That makes sense.
All right. So I'm going to give you the next introduction, and Keith will track down Greg. So our next speaker is Senior Ben Tishner. This young man was captain and all-state player on the boys soccer team and has been heavily involved in other sports throughout high school. He is excited to be attending Union College in New York next year, and he was recently selected by his class to be the MC at our upcoming commencement celebration. Please welcome Ben.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, so let me start by saying that I'm here not only representing the current students of LHS, but all the students who came before us, some of whom are in their 50s by now. I only have the next couple of minutes to attempt to describe Brenda's 31-year legacy of service to our community, which is a little bit intimidating, but I'll try my best. With all respect to Mr. Smith, Dr. Robinson, Mr. Maddie, and Mr. Stone, we all know that Brenda really runs the school, and she's done it since 1989. That's thousands of names learned, thousands of calls to teachers reminding them to submit their attendance, and thousands of excused tardy passes issued for students whose tardiness was not truly excused. It's okay that your secret's out now. They can't really fire you at this point. Through it all, you have maintained a sunny disposition that has helped us during the day. In the mornings, you're one of the first people that we see when we walk into the building, and your smile is contagious. You're the most approachable adult that I've ever met, and it's incredible that you've gotten to know so many students in a way that makes us all feel special. You are kind, caring, and generous. You have food available for kids who are hungry that you buy with your own money. You will never know how much the little things that you do are truly appreciated. You're flexible and understand that we're just kids. You give us extra chances when we're running late and need a break, and you don't make detention feel like a punishment. I could continue forever, but simply put, your legacy at LHS is that because of you, Brenda, we're all going to be a little kinder to everyone who we meet. We do share one thing in common. Our send-off from LHS is not what we had ever envisioned or hoped for. Unfortunately, Brenda, you don't get to break the record for the longest standing ovation earned during one of our assemblies, but this is not the end of your story. There's a quote that I discovered recently that I've been turning to a lot. I believe it perfectly describes the situation that we're in. It's from the great J.R.R. Tolkien's Fellowship of the Ring, during a pivotal moment when Frodo says, "I wish it need not have happened in my time." To this, Gandalf replies, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Now, Brenda, it is up to you to decide what to do with the time that is given to you. My mom always told me never to assume the age of another woman, but for you, if I had to guess, you're what, in your late 40s, and you have the rest of your life ahead of you. I know that you'll take advantage of this time, as it is a new beginning for you. I hope that you can accomplish some things that you've always wanted to. I hope that you're able to travel the world when all this is done, and I hope that you get to relax a little. Most importantly, I hope that every day of your retirement is sunny because you've earned it. LHS is a better place because of you. Thank you for your service, and enjoy retirement. We'll miss you a lot."
I understand that Greg has joined us. So Greg, why don't you go ahead with your remarks about Mrs. Evensen?
Sorry about that. Okay. So Ms. Evensen joined the Lebanon High School District in 2003. Her first role was as principal of the junior high, and then she transferred to the high school as a school counselor in 2009. She has touched many lives during her 17 years in Lebanon, as she did in her previous job in the Windsor School District. Throughout her career, Mrs. Evensen has been a source of knowledge and guidance to many students. I am just one of thousands of students who has benefited from having her as my counselor during my time at Lebanon, and it is my pleasure to speak about her on behalf of so many. The first thing I wanted to say about Miss Evensen is that she is a good listener. She has heard a wide variety of stories throughout the years, and she listens without judgment. It's very reassuring to know that you always have a school counselor who will share your joy, excitement, disappointments, and will be there even when you need to vent. This seems easy for her, but I know that it must be challenging. She has been there through all the highs and lows, and it's clear that she really cares about her students. She genuinely likes teenagers, and this sets the tone for strong relationships with her students. She has a wealth of knowledge on many aspects of the school and was essential in helping me throughout the college application process. She has also been the LHS AP coordinator for many years, and with over 200 AP exams happening every spring, that is certainly no small feat. Many of you probably know that Miss Evensen and her husband are accomplished musicians, and I hope that they will enjoy lots of music in their retirement years. She has a close and loving family, and I suspect they will be happy to have more time with her. Miss Evensen, thank you. Thank you for all you've done for me and for so many other students. You will be sadly missed and not forgotten. We wish you all the happiness possible in your retirement.
And now I'm going to offer the floor to our retirees who have asked to say a few words. We'll start with Ellen Bald.
Hello, everyone. First, I would like to say hello back to Ian Ray. Ian, thank you so much for those kind words. You were definitely one of my most challenging, medically challenging students that I've ever had in about 15 years of school nursing. I will never forget the day that Mr. Dankos literally dragged you to my office from the gym because he was pretty nervous. Your pulse was like 214, and I thought that he was the one who was going to pass out. And throughout all of those medical challenges that you had, you were definitely one of the most calm and composed students despite whatever else was going on around you. And I also want to say, Ian, thank you for inviting me to get to listen to you sing. For those of you who don't know, Ian is a wonderful musician and singer. He does a lot of jobs around the Upper Valley and restaurants. If you ever get a chance to go hear him, I encourage you to do that. Secondly, I would like to thank the staff and faculty of the Lebanon High School. I've gotten to know some of you very well, and it's truly been my pleasure to work with everyone. You have made my job so much easier because of all your professionalism. You are just the best group of teachers that I've ever been around, and I know that the high school will continue to be in your good hands. So I thank you again very much. I've often told people this, but because it's absolutely true, and that is in all of my 44 years of being a nurse, this was by far my best and my most favorite gig in nursing. So thank you all so much. I will miss you.
Mr. John Carey, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Define community. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Mrs. Evensen.
Sure. I want to say thank you to Greg for standing up here, getting here on time, maybe, and saying such great things. We've had a great run for 4 years. It's been a good time to work with you. I've been on an academic schedule my whole life, so I'm not sure what next year is actually going to bring. I'm looking forward to not getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm looking forward to having some Sundays become a little more relaxing, not filled with dread about Mondays. But a lot of the things I had planned are on hold: traveling, going to the library, going to the gym. They're all kind of on hold for now. But I've had an awful lot of jobs in education. I started as a substitute and made my way up to, at one point for 6 months, I was an interim superintendent. So I've kind of seen a lot of the various operations that go on that make a school system work. But I have to say, I've worked with a lot of great people in my career, but LHS gave me something that really was special. It allowed me to go back to working just with kids. I spent 11 years, working on the dark side. Sorry, Ian, Bonnie, Keith. And when I was able to come to Lebanon High School, it was fantastic because I was able to get back to working directly with kids, which is where my heart is, where my roots were, where my heart is. It's just been wonderful. As an administrator, I always used to say, if the building burned down tomorrow, I used to say to teachers all the time, if the building burned down tomorrow, you'd still be expected to keep school. We would be together, we would be working with kids, we would be working even with only the knowledge that we have in our heads, we would be doing what we do. I got the method wrong, if you will. I mean, this building didn't burn down, but it is all up to us. We are not in a building anymore. We maybe not have our books. We don't have the buses, but it's all coming from us, okay? I can honestly say that if I had to redesign an airplane in flight, which is what we've been doing these past 2 months, you are the folks that I would choose to do it with. And I've been really grateful to have the opportunity to work with you all. It's been wonderful. And I have to say, you rock, LHS, and I'm proud to have been a part of it.
Okay, Brenda, are you ready?
I'm ready. First of all, I want to say to Ben, thank you. Thank you for all those very kind words. And it's easy to be kind to people when they're good people, and you know they're good people. It's been a pleasure for the last 30 years to get up, come here every single day. Many have left before me, but I love you all, and I'm sure we will all be in touch. Thank you all very much.
On behalf of all of us, I would like to thank Ian, Emma, Greg, and Ben. You've beautifully captured the importance of these individuals to Lebanon High School. Ellen, Ann, John, and Brenda, we have gathered a collection of messages from the LHS community, and Amy has combined them all into booklets that you have hopefully arrived at your houses by mail already. You may open those after the meeting. The folders contain a remarkable outpouring of appreciation and good wishes, and we hope it will help you to realize that you have really made a difference here at LHS. In addition, the senior class has purchased a gift for each of you, and in appreciation for your dedication to Lebanon High School. We hope this will help you remember your time here as you begin your retirement years. Brenda, yours is going to get delivered to the conference room any minute here.
Nice.
That's all I've got. I'm passing it on to Ian.
Well, I'd also like to thank Ian, Emma, Greg, and Ben. You guys did a great job. Well done. There are 3 other faculty members who will be leaving us this year. Maggie McCabe-Crimes has been with us for just 2 years while her husband was at Tuck, but she has made a big difference as our speech language pathologist, both at the high school and at Mount Lebanon School. Jane Rice commented, quote, "We will never get another SLP as good as Maggie," unquote. And while I hope she is wrong, there may be some truth in that. Maggie, we wish you well in your return to Texas. I'm sure you'll miss these New Hampshire winters. Thanks for all you've done in your short amount of time here at LHS. You will be missed. Doc B has been at LHS for 4 years, and we are sad to say that he is leaving behind his 60-plus minute commute from Littleton for a 20-minute commute to Linden Institute, where he will teach physics and be the department chair. My sense is that Doc has heard this a lot over the years, but he exemplifies calm, patience, and he's a true gentleman. He has provided a safe place for our students who love Dungeons and Dragons, and they're in there for all kinds of reasons, Doc, not just to play that game. And he has shared his love of science and depth of knowledge in a classroom setting. He is one of the most likable guys you will ever meet, and he will be missed at LHS. Doc B, don't forget us. Also, Michael O'Brien leaves us after just 1 year. We have enjoyed having him at LHS, and as much as we would have liked him to stay, he's off to pursue his passion of acting. You'll be missed, Michael, and we wish you the best. I also wanted to add a few thoughts about the 4 retirees. Hopefully we'll have a chance to see each other in person before we're all done here, but I thought I would go through this quickly. Ellen, your competence and professionalism when dealing with difficult medical circumstances and families that are not always cooperative and easy to work with did not go unnoticed and will be greatly missed. I want to specifically thank you for the commitment you made to the job, Ellen, and the students of LHS. The effort you made to be here every day, even when there are times when you weren't feeling up to par or needed to be elsewhere, was recognized and appreciated and made a difference in the lives of our students in a significant way. So thank you for that, Ellen. John, you are a leader in this building and part of a fortunate group are equally respected and valued by staff and students alike. You have a patient and easy manner, although when stirred, you didn't hesitate to come to life and people appreciated that. As much as I think you like coming into the building each day, and I think you really did, John, in my conversations with you, you know, how much you enjoyed your classes, coaching with Mike, the ski team, the bass fishing club, and working alongside the good friends you made here at LHS. It was all of us who enjoyed your presence even more than that. And I know how much you care about your kids and your colleagues and how important it was to you to make sure that you did well by them. You've had a positive impact on thousands of students in the Lebanon School District over the last 17 years, and you have much to be proud of in that regard. I also want to thank you on a personal level for the conversations I had with you when I first arrived and the wisdom you imparted my way. It was helpful and I was grateful for it more than you know at the time. Brenda, you became an institution here, and I really can't say more than already has been said. You were kind, patient, attentive, caring, persistent, stern and strong with hundreds of kids when they needed it most, and the best possible contact students and families ever could have hoped of having. Your 31 years in the building, your dedication to LHS, your approach to the job, your good nature, and the relationships you've formed, not only with the people you've worked with, but the community of Lebanon cannot be replaced. And so to all the retirees and the people who are leaving the building, we will miss you and we wish you well. At this time, I would invite the students and family members to leave the Zoom meeting so we can continue maybe perhaps a bit with the business of the faculty and staff. I hope you all have a nice day. Take care.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming, absolutely. So we have this memo that we've linked to the staff announcements, and I don't believe there's anything that requires lengthy conversation. We just ended a meeting with the New Hampshire DOE, which is in the announcements, but it's kind of exciting for us because we can communicate out to parents that we have a graduation plan in place.